In today's video, I'm doing something a bit different. I'll be going from London to Liverpool to Belfast by train and ship. Join me as I experience the low-carbon, more fun way to get between Britain and Ireland, taking in an express train to Liverpool and then the comfort and sophistication of the overnight ferry, which drops me in Belfast at 6 AM the next morning. I think I might enjoy this even more than flying. Yes, welcome to London Euston, where I'm about to begin the first step of this journey up to Northern Ireland. Come with me, we're travelling with Avanti West Coast on one of their brand new Evero trains. Euston is perhaps Britain's most maligned railway station. It's suffering particularly badly recently because of HS2 works. Who remembers when there was a tower block here? And it's only recently the old departure boards have stopped being used for horrible advertising and instead have useful passenger information on them again. Euston's original brutalist vision has been somewhat lost and is now a soulless assortment of spaces, a far cry from many other grand London railway terminals. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Cheers. So here we go. This is my first time on one of these brand new Class 807 trains. This is 807-001, the first of 10 Class 807 electric multiple units, of the same family as the Class 805 diesel and electric bimode trains. The 807s are lighter due to not having to carry diesel engines and accelerate more quickly. The rail and ferry portions of the trip have to be bought separately. My ticket, bought a few days in advance, cost £70 in standard premium, but a standard ticket can be had for as little as £15 with Avanti's superfare, for example. Standard premium is in a 2-1 configuration, identical to the first class carriage in the rear of the train, but with no meal or drink service or lounge access. Standard, just through the door here, is in a 2-2 configuration. It smells very new, like a new car smell, but for trains, of course. I'll confess to not being a huge fan of the 800 series trains. They're a little bit clinical for my liking and feel lightweight and lit up like a dental surgery. Train interiors in the UK over the past decade have taken a downturn, but I'll give you some specific criticisms of this seat a bit later in the video. Well, it is unexpectedly empty in here, so I'm going to move to one of these tables of two. I travel hundreds of thousands of miles per year and I take literally hundreds of train trips, and that's why I'm glad to partner with Trip.com, the best app I've found for booking train tickets. More and more people are discovering split ticketing as a way of saving money on UK rail travel, and instead of relying on one expensive through fare, it's often possible to buy tickets for various segments of your journey. These shorter distance tickets can work out a lot cheaper than buying one through fare. And with Trip.com you can easily make these savings as the app proactively searches where best to split your ticket. Best of all, unlike many of their competitors, there are no booking fees. You'll save an average of 30%, although it does depend on the route you're booking. A lot of you watching this will qualify for a rail card, which can save a third off your rail fare. If you don't have one, grab 50% off rail cards on the Trip.com app. If you've already got one, no worries. For both situations, simply click the link below to download the Trip.com app and enter code PAUL50 on the homepage. Trip.com also shares 60 half-price rail cards every Thursday at 10 AM, and even if you miss out on that, you can still grab 20% off rail cards and 8% off UK and European rail tickets on the flash deal page. And that really is unbeatable value. It is the cheapest site I've found for booking UK railway tickets.
This train will call at Rugby, Runcorn and Liverpool Line Street.
I have lived along the West Coast Main Line almost my entire life, and seeing it change makes me really feel the march of time. I can remember the iconic old Wembley Stadium with its twin towers. And here's where I was born, Harrow and Wealdstone. These trains are limited to 110 miles per hour, and as they replace 125 mile per hour tilting trains, this means they aren't as quick, even with their brisk acceleration. Tilting trains can do 125 miles per hour for almost the whole first part of the route, because they can take the corners much faster. But our conventional 807, which doesn't tilt, is limited to less than 100 miles per hour through the tight curves of Berkhamsted, for example. I do think this stretch of line through Hertfordshire, Buckinghamshire and Bedfordshire is one of the more pleasant, higher speed sections of track around in Britain. And East West Rail is an exciting development about to change Bletchley forever. You can just make out the new elevated platforms here in the background. So let's talk about the interior. I think standard premium and by extension first class, which is identical, is a bit of a dog's dinner. Now there are some improvements like clearer and better passenger display screens, but the big issue here is the seat. The company has opted not to install a recline. This grey square is where the lever otherwise would be, and that's not good in a first class seat. This is a Fisa lean seat from Italy which feels cheap and nasty, as well as being narrow, and is more commonly installed on European regional trains, not front rank intercity expresses. There is a quirk in the timetable for this train which will disappear in mid-December. It has long breaks at both Rugby and Runcorn so it can fit in around other services, and we're not due to leave until 14:06, 10 minutes after we arrive. I'm getting pretty hungry, and this is a lunchtime train. I'm not in first class, so there's no complimentary meal for me today, but there is a buffet car and shop in Coach D, which is where I'm headed right now. While I've been critical of standard premium, I have to say the rest of the train is much better. These additional luggage racks in the vestibules in standard are very welcome, and the toilets, I know they're new, are actually pleasant, and every one comes with a baby changing table, so there's no need to hunt out the accessible loo for one. Standard class is much better. The seats used are the same as budget operator Lumo, which I gave a great review a few months back. For a standard class seat, they're well shaped, firm without being unpleasant, and even include a reading light. Good news, Avanti has this seat on their Class 390 Pendolinos too, now they're all refurbished, and to be honest, I kind of regret my standard premium purchase. The onboard shop is also quite a nice place to be, and it's well stocked. And while we can all hope and pray for dining cars to come back on British trains, the reality is this is about as good as it gets in this country, a few Pullman services aside. So I've returned with some swag. £6.50 for a meal deal is not too bad a price, but let's have a look and see what we've got inside. I found this to be okay value for £6.50. The sandwich was great, and I'd buy this again. This is Runcorn, where because of the timetable we have to wait for 10 minutes, and we're now on the home stretch. Overall, I find these trains a little less pleasant than the Class 390s which operate many of the other services on this route. They're just cheaper feeling overall, but that is the cost of being lightweight, I suppose. However, given the 807 has a lower top speed, I don't think this has been a sacrifice worth making. I'll probably look to keep travelling on the old Pendolinos while I can. This is Liverpool Lime Street, which opened in 1836, making it the oldest still functioning proper grand terminus station anywhere in the world.
Please mind your step down to the platform. Thank you for travelling with Avanti West Coast.
Well, there we go, on time here in Liverpool, and to be frank, with the amount of padding in the timetable, there was no excuse for lateness today. Now on to the next bit. Waiting in the next platform is East Midlands Railway's Class 158 Pride themed train. Many train companies in Britain have one unit with a pride flag of some description. Do you have a favourite rainbow carrying train livery? Lime Street is conveniently located for Liverpool city centre and is also on the suburban Merseyrail network. But first... So, welcome to Liverpool. I'm here a few hours before I really needed to be, but there's a good reason for that. Liverpool is a great city, arguably the most distinctive large city in England, and well worth stopping in for the evening. And it would be remiss of me to pass through without catching up with a good friend for drinks in this funky cocktail bar. You can leave London as late as 17:33 to make the ferry, but if time's on your side, I do recommend an evening in Liverpool. The next and very short part of this journey involves heading across the water to Birkenhead. It's a short ride under the Mersey to Hamilton Square, the closest station to the ferry port. It's about a 20-minute walk away. Stena Embla, along with her sister ship the Stena Edda, ply this route daily, and they have been sailing for Stena since 2021. The Embla has space for 1,000 passengers across 175 cabins and common areas, 175 cars and 165 freight trailers. Check-in for foot passengers is at the main terminal. Aside from the obviously brilliant amenity of having Ulster Tato in the vending machine, there is also a small cafe available in the post-security area in the terminal. It's about 8:30 and I found myself in the salubrious confines of the Birkenhead Ferry Port car park. Somewhere behind me is the ship, but we'll be boarding by bus today. There's no jetway or ferry bridge, whatever you want to call it, from the terminal to the ship because it is simply too far away. Bit cold tonight, got myself a cup of tea. Usually costs £2.50, but the woman behind the counter said for tonight it was free. Not sure if it's just for me, whether she liked my face or whether they just can't take payment, but free is my favourite price. Ooh, really looking forward to getting on board. I've had a bag of crisps because I'm absolutely starving. The first order of business is going to be to get some dinner, I think. I think I definitely prefer boarding on a jetway or ferry bridge or whatever you call it, as opposed to going on the bus. There's just more of a sense of occasion about it, in my opinion. After several flights of stairs, I'm finally popped out into the common area of the ship, and I've got to say, my first impressions are pretty positive. I did actually sail on sister ship the Edda a couple of years ago during COVID, and I'd forgotten just how lovely these ships are. Of course, there are a lot of steps to take. The total cost of my ferry ticket was £139 one way. This included a flexible fare element of £45.50 and a 4-berth superior cabin outside supplement of £90 plus taxes and fees. Dinner is served in the restaurant. The ship has only one, but it's rather good even if the prices reflect the captive market. You could eat before boarding and maximise sleep, but I always find a meal breaks up a long journey and makes it a bit more manageable. The ship leaves at 22:30 and is due to arrive at 6:30 the following morning in Belfast, so you can easily eat and finish before departure. As you know, this is not the first time I've done this crossing, and the previous time I boarded a bit later than I did tonight, and the restaurant was absolutely packed, so happy to say that I managed to get in before the rush. Food looks absolutely fantastic.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the captain speaking. The cargo operation completed, closing the tender, and we shall be departing shortly. I do apologize for late departure this evening, which will not affect our arrival time. Our arrival time in Belfast is 0630 hours. I repeat, 6:30 in the morning as per schedule.
The sports bar with its gallery roof is in the centre of the ship and makes a rather lovely common area. Surely this must be one of the nicest ferries operating from Britain at the moment. I wonder what's in all these trailers. There's so much activity going on as the crew try to recover a delay. And the view across the water is a fine one. This is Bramley Moor Dock Stadium, soon to be the new home of the city's second best football team, and this is the Museum of Liverpool. Since it looks like we're going nowhere quickly, I've popped inside and now's a really good time to show you around this superior cabin. It's really nice in here. This is a superior 4-berth outside cabin with an unobstructed view, and it comes with 4 berths. So travelling with several people will bring down the cost, as the berth is paid for in and of itself, and the cost can be shared among multiple passengers. The bedding provided is pretty good. I found it comfortable and the bed not too narrow. Towels are provided because this, of course, is an ensuite berth with shower. This cabin also comes with a television, not that I'll be watching it tonight. The main reason I can tell this is a superior cabin, coming with a £10 uplift over the regular 4-berth, is the provision of water and a coffee machine, and to be fair, it is a pretty good coffee machine. Well, what can I say? Overall, this is a very pleasant ferry cabin. It's a shame I didn't get a balcony double room, as these were sold out, but I'm still delighted to have managed to score such a nice room for the 8-hour crossing this evening. We are just turning to head north up the Mersey and towards Northern Ireland. It's just gone 11 o'clock and I've got to say it's past my bedtime, so I'm going to turn in for the night, but hopefully a very smooth crossing ahead. Really enjoyed it so far. Good night. just had the morning call here at 5:45. Got about 6 hours of sleep, which isn't too bad, but my goodness, it's quite an early morning call here in Belfast, and this coffee is really needed. I do love this about ferries, the fact that you can just walk around on deck. And it is freezing cold this morning, but the fresh air is definitely welcome. We are about 10 minutes away from berthing, and hopefully I'll get a few good shots of us alongside.
And there you have it, London to Liverpool to Belfast by train and ferry. This is the most time-effective non-flying option with an overnight crossing. It's annoying there isn't through ticketing to make this cheaper, but it is the most pleasant option, and the early arrival makes Ireland your oyster. My total cost for this trip was £212 in travel costs, plus £30 on my food and drink. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.